and welcome to this month's edition of Worcester Public Library's Coming Soon titles. I'm Taylor, and this is my colleague,
Joy.
Today, as usual, I will be presenting the fiction titles, and Joy will be doing the nonfiction. All of these will be available in print, and hopefully, at least eventually, in ebook or audiobook format as well. And with that, I guess I'll kick it off with the first fiction.
Your turn.
Okay, so my first pick is All This Could Be Different by Sarah Thankam Matthews. All this could be different, but instead we read the story of a young woman reckoning with her first job, her first love, and her first real friends. It's the height of the mid-2000s recession, and Sneha's immigrant parents have been deported to their native India just as she has graduated college. Being one of the fortunate ones at the time, she's landed a job as a corporate consultant in Milwaukee. Her new but grueling entry-level corporate job may just be the key that unlocks every door. She can pick up the tab at dinner with her new friends, get her college buddy hired alongside her, and send money to her parents back in India. She begins even dating, and soon develops a burning crush on Marina, a beguiling and beautiful dancer who always seems just out of reach. While all seems good and well, it's clear to Sneha that she may be in over her head. Nothing comes as easily as she had hoped. Her landlord has it out for her. Marina seems to want more than Sneha can give, and her boss stops paying her. Oh, you want the cherry on top? Sneha's childhood trauma reemerges amongst the rest of her issues. In her debut novel, Matthews achieves what so often seems to be impossible, a deeply felt, quote-unquote, novel of ideas, tackling the big abstractions, capitalism, gender, Western individualism, etc., while at the same time imbuing her characters with such real, flawed humanity that they seem ready to walk off the page. In her prose, Matthews can be deeply moving at the same time that she is funny, dipping into slang in a way that feels lyrical and rhythmic. Bro, Sneha tells another friend, the molecules of my whole body are just carbon and abandonment issues. All This Could Be Different is a wise, tender, and riveting group portrait of young people forging love and community amidst struggle.
Does it have a happy ending?
It has a happy ending.
Okay, I was wondering there. Not that I necessarily need a happy ending in the things that I read, but... Well, I do believe that my first choice also has a happy ending. This is Knocking Myself Up, a memoir of my infertility by Michelle T. At the age of 40, essayist, activist, tarot card reader, and recovering alcoholic Michelle T. embarked upon one more adventure in what has been, by all accounts, an adventurous life. She decided to have a baby. As a, quote, mostly gay woman, T knew that the traditional route was unlikely to be open to her. What to do? Fortunately, her friend Quentin, a healthy 28-year-old drag queen, was waiting in the wings to make the necessary donation. And fortunately, she has a host of friends willing and eager to provide support. The process took 4 years and involved, in the words of Publishers Weekly, tarot cards, astrology, witches, a loving queer community, a caring partner, and medical practitioners sympathetic to her desire to have the baby. Conventional, it is not. Michelle says that her birth story serves as a celebration of the human body, its hidden miracles. This is a story of a choice made, a dare accepted, a journey undertaken. PW calls Knocking Myself Up a heartfelt work that embraces every facet of the human experience, heartache, hope, and with a little luck, joy. TJ praises T's exuberance and zest, and Kirkus calls the book a refreshingly entertaining, lighthearted memoir about a serious topic. You know, and I've been reading reviews of this book, and I don't know whether she actually had the baby. I'm going to have to Google that.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, she must have, right? But there is no reference to an actual child at the end of this. So
oh, wow. So,
I'll be Googling it.
Okay. And if not, I guess we'll have to read and find out.
Yes, indeed. I intend to anyway.
All right. So for my next fiction choice, I have Didn't Nobody Give a Shit What Happened to Carlotta by James Hanneman. Life can change a lot when you're incarcerated for 20 plus years. For Carlotta, it changed in more ways than could be imagined. After a robbery of a liquor store turned into the murder of a sales clerk, Carlotta found herself being arrested and jailed for a crime she never wanted to be a part of. While it's bad enough, she didn't enter the jail a woman, but certainly left one. During her transition from male to female in her all-male penitentiary, she suffered abuse and worse from both the inmates and the guards alike between her cell and solitary confinement. Yet, through all of the trauma and abuse she endured, she still keeps her attitude and her spirits high after her release. However, all that spunk and fire may just be a defense mechanism for dealing with a world that she's not fully ready for. Over a whirlwind 4th of July weekend, readers follow Carlotta's travel through Fort Greene, Brooklyn, trying to find her parole officer, apply for a job, attempt to drive a car, attend a wake, getting robbed, and an infraction that could very well put her back in jail. On top of all that, she visits her family, including a son she left behind, and attempts to reconnect with all of them while getting them to reconcile with her new identity. Written in the third person, Hanneman interrupts the omniscient narrator with abrupt and unpunctuated interruptions by Carlotta, a captivating and interesting technique showing her urge to take control of the narrative while counteracting the kinds of quote-unquote official narratives that get the story wrong about women like her. With a starred review from Kirkus, it's a brash, ambitious novel carried by an unforgettable narrator.
Another good one.
Another good one.
My next choice is Diary of a Misfit, a memoir and a mystery by Washington Post reporter Casey Parks. In 2002, writer Casey Parks came out to her family as a lesbian. To say the least, it did not go well. And Parks assumed that her life in her beloved South was over. Then something remarkable happened. Casey's grandmother, a stern conservative woman who grew up picking cotton, shared the story of her neighbor, Roy Hudgens, a small-town country singer, a woman who lived her life as a man. Thus began Parks' multi-year life-changing quest to uncover the truth about this intriguing individual, knocking on doors and combing through records to unravel the mystery that was Roy Hudgens. Needless to say, along the way, Parks was forced to reckon with her own identity and her fraught past, including her relationship with her loving but drug-addicted mother, her conflicted religious faith, and her ambivalence about Louisiana, the childhood home she can never quite leave. P.W. Kirkus and L.J. all gave Diary of a Misfit a starred review. P.W. says that Parks' writing is a marvel to witness and calls the book a brilliantly rendered and complex portrait of Southern life.
Another good one.
You know, as in the way of quests, you never embark upon a quest to find something or someone else without also facing your own issues, demons.
Yes, they always arise somehow.
And this, I think, will be a great quest story.
Yes. Well, I have a fiction quest story, if you will. My final pick for fiction is Mika in Real Life by Emiko Jean. Life hits Mika Suzuki hard over and over and over again. Living in Portland, Oregon at 35 years old, Mika's life is a mess between breakups, a roommate and best friend who might be a hoarder, and being fired from her most recent dead-end job. She is reminded constantly of her failures and how much of a disappointment she is to her traditional Japanese parents. A phone call from the child she put up for adoption 16 years prior changes everything. Penny Cavill is faced with the loss of her adoptive mother and seeks comfort and connection with Mika, her biological mother. To Penny, Mika is absolutely everything, and Mika desperately wants to live up to those expectations. Mika creates a fake life in order to impress her daughter and attempts to stage an elaborate but ill-conceived ruse involving a handsome boyfriend and being the proprietor of an art gallery. While some aspects of her life are embellished, other parts, like her hopes, dreams, flaws, and Japanese heritage, are very real. Much to no surprise, and in part of Mika's own mother, the plan fails, and now she must reckon with the truths of her own life and focus on creating relationships that are much more realistic with Penny and Penny's incredibly handsome, successful adopted father. Surprise! It's a romance novel of sorts.
No!
What starts as a rocky, contentious relationship slowly blossoms into a friendship and over time, something more. But can Mika really have it all? Love, her daughter, the life she's always wanted? Or will Mika's deceptions ultimately catch up to her? In the end, she must face the truth about herself, her family, and her past, and answer the question, just who is Mika in real life?
Another one.
Which is surprising, because I know you don't care for romances.
I don't like romance too much, but I've been sort of veering a little tiny bit in that direction lately.
Ooh,
We'll talk about it. All right, my final choice is California Soul, an American epic of cooking and survival by Keith Corbin. Los Angeles native Keith Corbin began cooking at the age of 13. Cooking crack cocaine, that is. By all accounts, he was good at it. What he was not good at, however, was staying out of jail. And by age 23, he found himself in one of California's most notorious maximum security prisons. There he might have languished, had it not been for food. Yes, food. While incarcerated, Corbin joined other inmates in creatively transforming nearly inedible prison cuisine into a, edible prison cuisine. When he was released, Corbin was chosen to manage Low Call, a fast food restaurant established by celebrity chefs Roy Choi and Daniel Patterson in order to provide good, inexpensive food and a variety of employment opportunities to underserved communities. Eventually, Corbin became head chef at one of LA's finest restaurants, Alta Adams. At first glance, this is a quintessential American success story, proof positive that with enough persistence and perseverance, anybody can do anything. Corbin, however, is uncomfortable with what he calls the, quote, gangbanger redemption narrative so beloved by the media. Growing up black and male in America, he reminds us, is hard under the best of circumstances. And Corbin's circumstances as a young man were far from the best. Nonetheless, his achievement is remarkable and his commitment to California soul food worthy of celebration. PW gives California Soul a starred review and calls it an exhilarating saga of drugs, crime, and culinary passion. What a combo. Writer Ibram Kendi says that Corbin has written a courageous book, and one of my favorite chefs, Food Network's Carla Hall, says that Corbin grabs you in the first chapter and doesn't let you go until the last word. My only regret is that being that I live a very long way from LA, I'm unlikely to dine at Alta Adams anytime soon.
Maybe we'll have to take a trip out.
I think so. I think it'd be worth a flight to LA just to go to that restaurant.
It's work related.
Yes,
it's
exactly.
a necessary trip.
We'll have to ask our boss.
Yes. All right, well, thank you guys so much for joining us for this month's new releases. We look forward to seeing you next month.
And see you later, fellow readers.
Bye.